Hello and welcome. You're watching FI. I am Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. Now, the Reserve Bank of India has mandated that from 1st of October, all kinds of recurring or auto debt payments will require the customer's consent before they are cleared. Now, what exactly does this mean? On the program, we'll break it up for you. But essentially, to understand in a nutshell, what this change basically means is that starting October, customers who want the standing instruction in place for recurring payments will have to register for what is now going to be called a e-mandate at the merchant site for the first transaction with a validity period and a maximum amount mentioned over there. Also, registration, modification, deletion, etc. all of those details you'll have to give in this so-called e-mandate. For subsequent transactions, customers will have to pre-debit now notifications 24 hours prior with details of the upcoming e-mandate charge coming in. So it will give you details like your date, amount, which merchant is it going for, and the reference number. Got it? No, it's okay. Even I didn't get it in the first time. So I reached out to my friend Rubina for more. This is what she said.
If you've been noticing failed transactions for online subscriptions like Netflix or even bill payments, you are not alone. The Reserve Bank of India's latest guidelines for recurring transactions went live on the 1st of October, requiring e-mandates for all future recurring payments. The new guidelines require all users to be informed of recurring payments at least 24 hours in advance. In addition, users will have to set up an e-mandate authorizing automatic payments for each individual service they are subscribed to. The new rulings are designed to prevent online fraud as well as recurring payments for services that users might not be aware of that they are subscribed to. It is also expected to encourage services to offer monthly payment options over a lump sum yearly payment. The lackluster implementation is, however, affecting millions of users who have online subscriptions or auto payments set for bills like credit cards or insurance. Now, while the government is urging users to set up e-mandates that will set a fixed limit and time duration for services to execute automatic payments, not every bank is ready to implement these yet. The notification for the e-mandate will be sent by the service or platform for which you wish to set up automatic payments. And once the user has authenticated the e-mandate for each specific service, payments under 5,000 rupees should go through automatically on schedule. However, an OTP will still be required for transactions above 5,000 rupees. Moreover, a notification will be sent 24 hours ahead of the transaction, informing the user of the transaction, allowing them to cancel it. Now, once fully implemented, users will also be able to use their bank account to cancel any individual recurring transaction from one single interface. However, till the time the e-mandates are not set, all automatic transactions are expected to continue failing. Overall, the new guidelines are a good move towards tighter online security and more control over payments, but the slow rollout of the e-mandate process by banks and services has led to service disruptions and millions of disgruntled users. While the share of recurring payments in India remains small, the push for monthly plans could be a boon for service providers. It will, however, require a significant revamp of the process to ensure ease of use.
So net-net, it's a great move in which, remember all those suspicious prescription charges that you keep paying sometimes for months and years, not even knowing, all of them comes to an end and you have to give your mandate before this auto debit can actually take place. Apart from that, there are a couple of more details that have come out in this RBI guideline. This is especially for pensioners. So please listen in very carefully. You will have to now submit your digital life certificate. Submit a certificate by 30th of November. If not, some couple of banks have actually increased the deadline, so do check in on that. And no physical presence of pensioner is now needed, which is a great move. Really, a lot of people who are old on wheelchair and they have to be taken to the bank, it solves all those problems over there. So ensure you've done this. Apart from that, 3 banks have now floated a new checkbook, and any previous checkbook is now invalid. For example, the Allahabad Bank, the Oriental Bank of Commerce and the Union Bank of India. All these 3, if you have an existing check, it is not likely to stand anymore and you'll have to get a new one issued by your bank. All right, having understood those very basics over there, let's open it up for our panel. Joining us on the program today is Pradeep Mehta. He is General Secretary at Consumer Utility and Trust Society International. Also joining us is Vivaan Saran. He's partner at the Cohen Advisory Group. Joining us is Vishal Mehta, Head of Payments at SIA and ANZ, and our very own Nasir is back with us on FYI. Let me give Nasir the first word over here. Nasir, like I said, you know, the first question when we even floated this conversation was, oh my God, what's going to happen to my Netflix subscription, to my Apple TV Plus, to my Spotify? Do I have to go back and give an e-mandates at all these platforms, etc.? So could you just clear the air on that, please?
Good evening, Sonal. Great to be back again on your show. Yes, I think as a start, it's got a lot of people worried, Sonal, on Spotify, Amazon, whatever you have on recurring payments. But clearly, I think, firstly, nobody should get worried. There is a notification and a guideline which has been issued today by all platform providers such as, Spotify, all these names you just took. You need to go on to the subscription page and see what is available. Go on to the online digital platform, update the e-mandate, online forms. But clearly, I think from a user perspective, Sonal, great strategy. I think great adoption. A little rather too late, I would say, Sonal. This should have happened almost a few months back. I think users don't need to worry. It's setting the ball, in a way that it's transparent, it's compliant. You know exactly. I'll give you a small example. I mean, I'm a user. I wouldn't take the name, but I've been using a platform for live streaming of music. I opted for a one-time. I gave them a one-time permission to charge me for a month. It continued to happen for 3 months. Actually, continued for even 6 months. Whereas in my mind, I had given them a one-time permission only for 1 month to be charged on my card, on my credit card, for example. Now, when I was hit with a debit, I was surprised. I said, "Why is this happening?" And therefore, it led me to a point of belief of complaints. I had to write to the RBI ombudsman to interfere and so on and so forth. I think today the platform is far more transparent. The reason why this is also happening sooner is more from the user perspective, user-friendly perspective, and also ensuring that they give you protection. RBI, I must tell you, has done this because they've had a slew of complaints all over the last few months. The complaints have been on this, this technology space where recurring payments have been happening as a one-time charge that they've given permission to, which subsequently continues to, recur in nature. And therefore, it's important that, RBI does this.
Right. So you're saying the intent, this has been long coming in a way, and the intent of RBI is very clear. But let me go to Pradeep Mehta next on this one. So we're likely to face some teething issues over here, like we do for any new sort of arrangement that comes into place. But apart from that, you would also give it a thumbs up that this is something that was much due?
No, our only problem is that we have a few problems, but the main one was that we've been asking the Reserve Bank that there should be a process in place, a good prior consultation with consumer groups, etc., before you take up this unilateral action to announce it. Now, a lot of people, including me, have suffered because of our recurring payments having stopped. And we are not able to get the service without knowing as to why it happened. So the principal issue, Sonal, is that the consultation which is required, which all regulators are required to do whenever they bring in any kind of decision which affects. So that was one. And the second is that it increases the compliance burden. Now, when you talk in terms of security, I agree that the intentions may be good, but did they ask us as to what consumers would think in terms of a very high level of security when it is not required? It's just today there are many. When you talk in terms of pensioners, for example, most of them are fairly ignorant of the new digital systems. I mean, I suffer quite a lot by, plugging in the right numbers, etc. They don't work at times and so on and so forth. So the idea is let us simplify this as far as possible without sacrificing on security. I agree. Now,
Right. But
the other problem,
Mr. Mehta, I'm just trying to understand this. Are you saying there's a problem with the way it has been done, or are you saying there's a problem with the guideline altogether? I'm just
both.
Both. Okay.
If at all it should have been done, it should have been done with a good prior consultation, which was not done in spite of a demand which we made on the Reserve Bank. And secondly, the content itself. I mean, why have a complicated system like this, which many consumers may not understand as to how to deal with it, and then suffer the consequences of the same.
I'm not sure I follow when you say consumers will not understand, because anyways for these prescriptions you go online, right? So I'm not sure what that means, but let me bring in and open it up for the rest of the panel as well. Vivan, your thoughts?
Okay, so the framing of this is highly confusing, and it's evident also on this panel, and the kind of introduction that we heard from your expert, and after which Pradeep ji kicked in with the consumer viewpoint. And this is because the guidelines themselves are welcome. They are, as you said, in favor of greater and informed consumer choice and security. However, what you're seeing right now in the market over the last week or so since they were implemented is a lot of disruption in ongoing subscription payments, because a lot of banks at the back end were not ready to actually implement this mandate. So let me draw the analogy of something like a network neutrality, which was a movement that many at NDTV also supported.
Yeah.
Now, network neutrality is a construct which requires the entire network to be ready, which includes different stages of the internet service provision. And the whole construct of network neutrality was brought in by the government of India a couple of years ago to ensure that the transactions and content at the digital applications layer is available to everyone without discrimination. Now, the issue there was that there was an ecosystem view taken, that the network impacts the digital applications layer where you view content such as NDTV online, etc. And therefore the network itself needed to be ready. Here you need to think of it similarly, where unless the banking infrastructure is ready, because the merchants have a certain set of data, the fintech companies in the middle have some other set of data, and banks have to enable all of this, unless you take an ecosystem view. Right now there are about 4 or 5 banks that are ready to help you implement this solution, which means that about 80% of transactions won't go through as intended at the current juncture. So the RBI believes this is short-term pain for long-term gain. But what happens in the world of digital is that it takes very little to reverse digitalization and digital adoption. I mean, older constituencies, the demographics are a perfect example. My parents, for instance, they won't ever use the recurring payments option after this cycle has been disrupted once, after they were used to a certain protocol that they had to follow.
Okay.
Now, what is the solution here? The solution is very simple, that a standard such as this, which is good, noble, well-intended, has to be implemented at an industry-wide level from the get-go. So if the RBI had taken into account the need for seamless transition, it would have thought about 2 options. One is to give a hard mandate to say that on such and such date, banks must be ready with this solution, which is not the case.
Right.
So the compliance
But
mandate
again,
is
let
not
me
clear
ask you
on
what I
banks.
asked Pradeep Mehta as well. Are you saying this is the wrong solution or the right solution implemented wrongly? What exactly are you saying here?
It's the right solution implemented wrongly because there was no compliance mandate on banks, which are sitting at the base of the pyramid. They need to enable this solution. Only about 4 or 5 have, which results in a huge slew of failures down the value chain and supply chain.
Right.
And merchants such as even NDTV that would be selling subscription services online hopefully in the near future are deeply impacted by it, and so are consumers, particularly those that are recent digital adopters or not necessarily digital natives as we are.
Right. I have to take a break, but quickly, Vishal, before I do that, I know you've been waiting very patiently. Look at it from a lens of insurance, mutual fund, etc., and then tell me how are we to look at it.
See, the thing is, as merchants, we are at the behest, whether it's Microsoft or any mutual funds organization, we are at the behest of the ecosystem to be ready. As Vivan mentioned, most of the banks are not ready today, which means we have to play a wait game. Right, it's been two plus years since RBI came out with this notification, and till today, the ecosystem is not ready. As merchants, we just have to wait and wait and wait, and it's a very painful exercise because for all the merchants, it's been more than 9 to 12 months since the project has been started, and it's almost in an endless state until the banks are making that particular information. I'm sorry for the light. The light has just gone off.
That's okay. But we can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. So that is the biggest challenge which we are facing as merchants. Our entire payments team, which is more than 100 plus people, is focusing on implementing the solution. And unfortunately, the ecosystem is not ready. Our payment provider,
So the ecosystem is not ready. What took the banks so long? It's this irritation that I'm hearing from a lot of our panelists as well. I think this is a good time to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this entire process as well. Remember, we told you there's a two-factor process. There will be an authentication process that will follow. Is it really cumbersome? Can it be done easily? We'll discuss on the other side. You're watching FYI. Welcome back on FI. Today we are discussing the new RBI guidelines, which mean that your auto debit that used to happen to your recurring payments, it could be subscription, it could be mutual funds, it could be anything else, that will now require a e-mandate. Coming about specifically about the e-mandate, Vishal, just want to get your opinion on that. Do you know anybody who's tried it out just yet? And how exactly is it looking? How's the user experience there?
Sorry, the e-mandate setup is actually very smooth. Setting up of that experience, it varies, of course, by the merchant, whether you're on Netflix or Microsoft or Amazon. It really depends on what the merchant sets up as the user experience. The other thing is there are no specific guidelines from the RBI of how that experience should look like. The mandate setup experience is smooth. The recurring transactions so far, we've seen a few at Microsoft, they are very smooth. The challenge is that the ones which are not working, they are almost at a dead end. We are trying to, almost 80% of the transactions which are failing, we are trying to recover them, message the users what you need to do, and that user experience is not uniform. Every merchant has a different way of dealing with this particular setup because there's no uniformity in implementation by the issuers. We don't have visibility on when a particular issue will be ready. So we have to keep on checking every transaction. Okay,
Pradeep Mehta, I want to come to you. I know you mentioned this part about the digital divide, and no, it does not exist only between urban and rural India. It exists between age as well. In the same household, if you're living with kids, you can always go up to them and ask them to do it for you over the phone. If you're not, then you're in a soup. I totally get that. But just to understand, I mean, we're looking at the times of blockchain. We're looking and we're talking at the times when we're going to get involved with technology more and more and more. So how is it not time, I'm asking a controversial question, is it not time that we start keeping up with tech?
No, you're right. I mean, I often ask my grandson to help me. He's smarter. He's just 12 years old. But they are certainly more tech savvy. They're exposed to technology to begin, and as Vivan also pointed out, his parents would not have the same kind of aptitude to be able to deal with digital issues. Even, as I said, even me, I mean, probably...
and it's one time. Am I not wrong?
One time.
It's one time. So
another problem that we have, what I wanted to say that the last time was that, cross-border issues. Now, you don't expect all the merchants around the world to be aware of this kind of thing. I know several transactions of mine have come to an end. I mean, I'm not getting that subscription which I had already subscribed for. And, what the RBI should have done is waited for the whole world. Don't forget, we are now an integrated world. We are no longer
And in fact, can I bring in Vivaan at this point? Vivaan, is there no grievance redressal system here that the RBI has set up where you can call and say that, listen, I'm stuck at this one, and people can have actually FaceTime with somebody who will be able to solve this problem?
I mean, have a little empathy for digital service providers, Sonam. They would be dealing with millions of transactions, perhaps every minute, if not every day. So I think grievance redressal, of course, there are processes for the Consumer Affairs Ministry and the Consumer Protection Authority are set up to receive any complaints on any digital products or services. This is one of the key amendments, in fact, that has been brought in to the whole consumer protection framework over the last couple of years. But the key is, if you're talking about consumer protection and consumer welfare, there are two absolute, imperatives. One is that you need to conduct impact assessments before you implement new regulations. So what is if we take the example of the European regulators, they've arguably implemented the best in class payments standards, and it's called the Payment Services Directive. And it's, the whole process of making this standard was based on a comprehensive impact assessment by the European Commission to identify regulatory gaps and challenges and recommend regulatory policy responses. This was based on taking into account every consumer, merchant, every ecosystem participant. The thing to remember is that digital is an interconnected environment. And as you said, it's time we keep up with tech. And if we can't keep up with tech, because let's be honest, policy will always lag behind, the least we should do is to understand all the stakeholders in the digital value chain, which can be many more than you see at the surface, and consult them.
Vivaan, I'm interrupting because I'm completely out of time over here, but very valid points raised here. I know Nasir also wants to come in, but maybe another day. We really hope the RBI has listened in to all these very constructive suggestions coming in, and we really hope to get that grievance redressal number to start with to all of you who've been stuck with your subscription. That's it on FYI today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.